Ever feel like you're caught in a silent battle inside? On one side, you've got the Stoic Monk, that disciplined mind all about logic, resilience, and building an unshakable inner fortress. On the other, there's the spiritual warrior, the passionate heart, searching for connection, meaning, and a peace that goes beyond just the rational. A lot of us think these two paths are totally separate, that you have to choose cold, hard reason or heartfelt faith. But what if that feeling of being torn, that inner conflict, is just a big misunderstanding? What if real, lasting peace isn't about picking a side, but about bringing these two amazing forces together? I'm Harmony Ziba, and by popular demand from our viewers, we're going to explore something very interesting today. When we're looking for some peace and meaning in this hectic world, it's easy to feel pulled in a couple of different directions. So, let's get a better handle on these two approaches to inner peace. First up, Stoicism. Born way back in ancient Greece, it's a pretty compelling path. It's all about reason, virtue, and living in sync with nature. The Stoic ideal is the sage, someone who's basically mastered their inner world, so they're not rattled by whatever chaos is happening outside. They focus on what they can control, their thoughts, their judgments, their actions, and they learn to accept what they can't. This philosophy teaches self-discipline, how to manage your emotions, and how to bounce back when life throws you a curveball. It's attractive because it promises a solid, self-reliant kind of peace, like a fortress built on pure logic. And honestly, a lot of people are drawn to its practical tools for dealing with today's stressful world, helping them stay calm and centered. Then, you've got the path of spirituality or religion. Now, this covers a huge spectrum. Everything from organized religions with their own doctrines and rituals to really personal spiritual habits. But at its heart, this path is usually about connection. Connection to a higher power, to other people, to the universe, or even to your deepest self. It's about finding meaning that's not just about material stuff, offering comfort, purpose, and a feeling of belonging. Think prayer, meditation, group worship, or even just quietly soaking up nature. These are the kinds of practices that foster a peace that feels warm, expansive, and truly heartfelt. This path really speaks to that deep-down human desire for something more, something that lifts us beyond the day-to-day. So, where does the supposed conflict come in? Well, Stoicism, with its big focus on reason and being self-sufficient, can sometimes feel like it clashes with the faith that's often a big part of spiritual or religious paths. Some folks even think Stoicism's idea of a divine universe, the logos or universal reason, doesn't jive with the idea of a personal God. It can seem like one path is all about the head and the other is all about the heart. One wants you to build up your mental defenses. The other asks you to open up and connect, maybe even surrender. So, do you armor your mind against the world, or do you open your heart to the divine and the unknown? That's the kind of dilemma that can leave us feeling a bit fragmented, like we have to shut down one part of ourselves to let another part thrive. But what if this whole either-or thing is a false choice? What if the Stoic monk and the spiritual warrior aren't enemies at all, but actually allies in disguise? The idea that we have to choose between disciplined logic and heartfelt connection might just be the very thing holding us back from finding truly deep peace. The truth is, these paths aren't just compatible. They can actually supercharge each other. Think about it. Stoicism itself isn't strictly atheistic. It has spiritual elements baked right in. That Stoic concept of logos, the divine reason that flows through everything in the universe, kind of invites a sense of connection to something bigger than just us, a cosmic order. And many Stoic practices, like prosoche, which means paying constant attention to your thoughts and actions, look a heck of a lot like mindfulness, which is a cornerstone of so many spiritual traditions. The point isn't to water down either path. It's about exploring how their strengths can be woven together, creating a richer, more resilient kind of inner peace. It's about shifting from an either-or way of thinking to a both-and approach. What if Stoic resilience could give a solid foundation to your spiritual explorations? What if a sense of spiritual purpose could make Stoic virtue even more meaningful? So, how do we actually do this? How do we merge these apparently different forces and walk the path of the Stoic spiritual warrior, bringing together that disciplined mind and that connected heart? First off, let's find the common ground. Both Stoicism and many spiritual paths put a big emphasis on virtue. The classic Stoic virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, often line up pretty well with the moral teachings you'll find in various religions and spiritual outlooks. Both paths encourage self-control, not as a way to squash the life out of you, but as a way to live more fully. Both also talk about a kind of letting go. For Stoics, it's letting go of attachment to things outside your control. For spiritual folks, it's often about surrendering to a higher will or a deeper truth. And both definitely value inner peace, self-awareness, and personal growth. Now let's see how they can boost each other. Stoic discipline can be an incredible help in your spiritual practice. That self-control you build through Stoic exercises. It can help you stay consistent with things like meditation, prayer, or journaling, even when your motivation dips. And when you hit those moments of doubt or a crisis of faith, which, let's be real, are part of many spiritual journeys. Stoic principles like acceptance and focusing on virtuous responses can give you stability and keep you from falling into despair. Imagine using Stoic resilience to get through what mystics call the dark night of the soul, or using the dichotomy of control to figure out if something is a genuine spiritual insight or just your emotions running wild. On the flip side, spirituality can bring a deeper sense of meaning and warmth to your Stoic practice. While Stoicism gives you the how-to, the tools for resilience and virtue, spirituality can give you a powerful why. Feeling connected to something bigger, whether you call it God, nature, or universal consciousness, can turn Stoic duty from just a logical exercise into something you do with your whole heart. This spiritual connection can fuel your pursuit of virtue, making it not just a smart choice, but an act of love or devotion. It can change the Stoic acceptance of fate into a deep trust in a larger, benevolent order. Let's get practical for a moment. A Christian, for instance, might find that Stoic techniques for managing anger or anxiety help them live more charitably and patiently, bringing them closer to Christ's teachings. Someone practicing Buddhist meditation could use Stoic principles to handle distractions during their sit, or to apply mindfulness more consistently in their daily life. Seeing every experience as a chance to grow. If your spiritual habits are more personal, like spending time in nature, to feel connected, you could use Stoic reflection to appreciate those moments even more without being bogged down by worries about the past or future. This blending works whether you follow a formal religion or have your own personal spiritual practices. If you're part of an organized religion, Stoicism can offer a solid framework for living ethically and handling your emotions, which really complements your faith's teachings. It can help you truly live out the virtues your faith talks about with more consistency and strength. If your spirituality is more individual, maybe it's centered on nature, mindfulness, or a feeling of interconnectedness, Stoicism gives you the tools to build the inner discipline and clarity that let those spiritual feelings really blossom, without getting overwhelmed by life's inevitable curveballs. You could use Stoic journaling to explore spiritual insights, or practice the Stoic view from above meditation to deepen your sense of connection to everything. The key isn't to see Stoicism as a replacement for your spirituality, or spirituality as an escape from Stoic discipline. Instead, it's about creating a dynamic partnership. The Stoic monk inside you offers strength, clear vision, and unshakable resolve. The spiritual warrior inside brings passion, purpose, deep connection, and love. Together, they create a path that's both firmly grounded and beautifully transcendent. So, what are the perks of heading down this integrated path? What does life actually look like for someone who's a Stoic, spiritual warrior? Well, the biggest payoff is a more complete and resilient kind of peace. It's a peace that isn't easily wrecked by what's going on around you, thanks to your Stoic training. And it's not a cold or disconnected peace either, thanks to that spiritual warmth. You learn to face tough times with the calm strength of a Stoic, while also drawing on a deep well of spiritual meaning to find purpose, even when you're suffering. This combined approach leads to a real mastery of your mind. Stoicism gives you the techniques to understand and guide your thoughts and emotions. Spirituality offers a bigger picture for all that effort, making sure your mental discipline serves a higher purpose than just being stoically detached. You're not just controlling your mind, you're aligning it with your deepest values and your sense of connection to the world. And this path offers profound meaning. While Stoicism tells you to live virtuously, spirituality can light up why virtue matters, whether on a grand cosmic scale or in a deeply personal way. It's the difference between just knowing the path and feeling that path light up right in front of you. This leads to a life that isn't just something you endure with resilience, but something you live with passion and purpose. The actions you take, guided by Stoic reason, but filled with spiritual intention, just feel more significant. You also become more adaptable. Life's going to throw things at you, situations that challenge your logic and others that test your faith. The Stoic spiritual warrior is ready for both. They can use rational problem solving when it's needed and lean into faith and intuition when reason just can't go any further. This flexibility is so important for navigating the messy, wonderful complexities of being human. Ultimately, this integrated path helps you become a more complete and authentic version of yourself. You're not boxing up your intellect and your spirit, or your discipline and your devotion, into separate compartments anymore. You're bringing them together into a harmonious whole, letting your full human potential really shine. This isn't about reaching some state of emotionless perfection. It's about becoming a more resilient, compassionate, and purposeful human being. The journey to peace doesn't mean you have to pick between being a Stoic monk or a spiritual warrior. Actually, the most profound peace, the most unshakable strength, and the deepest meaning are often found right where these two powerful currents meet. By thoughtfully blending the disciplined logic of Stoicism with the heartfelt connection of your spiritual path, whatever that looks like for you, formal religion or personal habits, you create a new way forward, the way of the Stoic spiritual warrior. This path isn't about quick fixes. It's a lifelong practice of weaving together wisdom, discipline, and connection. It's about learning to use your mind as a tool for clarity and your heart as a compass for meaning. So, I invite you to think about this. Where in your life can you already see the Stoic monk and the spiritual warrior at play? How might you start to consciously bring their strengths together? Maybe it's by bringing some Stoic mindfulness to your prayer or meditation, or by infusing your daily Stoic reflections with a sense of spiritual purpose. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does this integrated path look like for you? What challenges or insights do you see coming up? Let's explore this ultimate path to peace together.